Hi YouTube, welcome back to April Nicole Design. I am April. On today's video, I will be constructing a pair of pants to the Simplicity pattern S8957. I'm going to sew pattern A. This pattern features pockets and a welt in the back. I'm sewing these pants to match the blazer I previously sewed. Be sure to check out that 3-part sew-along as well if you haven't already. Here's an overview of the pieces that you'll need, along with the general directions. As well as the cutting layouts. Here's a continuation of the cutting layouts. As well as the glossary of sewing methods that you can use. For pattern A, cut out pieces 1 front, 2 back, 3 pocket, 4 fly, 5 underlap, 6 right front waistband, 7 left front waistband, 8 back waistband, 9 carrier, 10 welt. Use your choice of fabric. I'm using denim. This step is optional. Number 1, stay stitch the upper edge of both the fronts in the direction that I have shown. Continuing number 1, you want to transfer the stitching line on the right front to the outside with tracing paper, or you can hand baste it. To reinforce the right front, stitch along the seam line for about 1 inch on each side of the large dot, stitching through the large dot. With right sides together, pin front sections together, matching at the large dots. Stitch the center front seam between the notch and the large dot, backstitch at the dot to reinforce the seam. Clip the right front to the reinforced large dot. Be careful not to clip through the stitching. Number 3, you want to apply the interfacing to piece number 4, which is the fly. I just realized I accidentally cut the fly wrong. The right side of the fabric should be face up and the same shape as the pattern piece. Remember, mistakes are learning opportunities. After cutting the correct piece and interfacing is applied, you can sew an edge finish, zigzag, or serge the curved edge of the fly. I decided to serge the curved edge of the fly. With right sides together, pin the fly to the right front edge matching the large dots. Stitch above the large dot, backstitch at the large dot to reinforce the seam. Trim the seam above the large dot to 1/4 of an inch. Before I add the zipper, I have to open the fly out. This is how the zipper is packaged. Place the closed zipper face down over the fly, with the tab end of the zipper 1 inch below the upper edge and the zipper tape extended 1/4 of an inch over the fly seam. I'm going to change the presser foot to a zipper foot. If you don't know how, use your machine's owner's manual for further instructions. After changing the zipper foot, stitch zipper on right edge of tape from the upper edge to the lower edge of the fly. The lower end of the zipper will extend below the lower end of the fly. Do not trim any excess. Turn the fly to the inside and press. On the left front edge, press under 3/8 of an inch. Open the zipper. Pin the left front over the zipper tape as close as you can to the teeth. Close the zipper and make sure the zipper is aligned on both fronts. Fold the underlap in half lengthwise with the wrong sides together. Open the zipper and pin the left front edge over the notched edge of the underlap. Baste from the upper edge to the large dot. Close the zipper and make sure that the fly and the underlap lay smoothly in place. Open the zipper and stitch the left side in place as based. Close the zipper and on the inside fold the underlap back and pin it out of the way. On the outside, hand baste the fly in place along the marked stitching line. Stitch the fly in place as based. Backstitch at the lower end to reinforce the stitch. Turn the underlap back in place. Using a needle and thread, hand tack the fly and underlap together at the lower edge. To sew a bar tack, read your machine's owner's manual. For this machine, I will use the buttonhole presser foot, and number 34 is the bar tack option. I should have turned the machine off to change the presser foot for safety purposes, but I'm demonstrating. It's also hard to film and put the presser foot on. Watch me struggle. Stay stitch the upper edge of each back piece in the direction I have shown. Make a dart for each back piece. Pin the front to the back pieces at the inner leg seams, matching the small dots and notches. On the front, place the pockets to the side edges. With right sides together, pin the pocket to the garment matching the large dots and having the raw edges even. Do the same for the back pieces. Press the seam toward the pocket and understitch the front pocket. On the outside, top stitch the front pocket 1/4 of an inch from the pressed edge, squaring the stitching at the large dots. Pin the front to the back at the side seams, matching at the large dots. Stitch the side seam to the large dot. Then continue stitching at the next large dot to the bottom. This leaves an opening between the large dots for the pocket. Backstitch at the large dots to reinforce the seam. Stitch the pocket edges together from side seam to upper edge. Clip the back seam allowance at the ends of the pocket. Press the seam open below the clip and press the pocket towards the front. Insert one leg inside the other. This part can be tricky, so just take your time. With right sides together, pin the remainder of the center seam, matching inner leg seams, small dots, and notches. To reinforce the seam, stitch again over the previous stitching. Apply the inner facing to the welt. With right sides together, fold the welt in half lengthwise, matching the small dots. Stitch the ends and trim the seam. I've turned the welt to the right side out and I pressed it. Now I'm going to machine baste 5/8 of an inch from the raw edge. Here's a closer look at the basting stitch. I cut out one welt, but you can cut out two for both sides of the back if you want to. On the outside of the garment, pin the welt to the right side of the back, placing the basting along the welt line, matching at the small dots. I forgot to trim the raw edges close to the seam to reduce the bulkiness. Turn the welt up and press it. Edge stitch the ends in place. Fold the carrier in half lengthwise with wrong sides together. As you can see, I put the right sides together. Oops. Press the carrier, making a crease. Open out the long edges of the carrier. Turn them to the inside so that they meet at the crease and press again. Do you see where my mistake is? Fold the carrier in half lengthwise, bringing the pressed edges together. Then stitch close to both the long edges. Now you want to cut the carrier into 5 sections. Each piece should measure 3 1/4 inches long. Press under 1/4 of an inch on one end. Pin the carriers to the front and the back over large dots and the center back seam. Baste along the seam line and stitch to pants 3/8 of an inch from the basting. You're going to apply the interfacing to the right front waistband, the left front waistband, and the back waistband. The waistband facing does not need interfacing. Pin and stitch the ends of the waistband sections together, matching all notches. Also, stitch the waistband facing sections together in the same way. With right sides together, pin the upper edge of the pants to the waistband, matching centers, seams, and notches. Trim the seam and press the band out, pressing the seam toward the band. Press under 1/2 inch on the notched edge of the waistband facing. Trim the pressed edge to 1/4 of an inch. With right sides together, pin the facing to the waistband, matching centers and having the raw edges even. Stitch the upper edge and ends of the waistband. Trim the seam and the corners. Understitch the facing as far as you can. Turn the facing to the inside and press. Pin the inner edge of the facing over the seam and place the pins on the outside of the garment. On the outside, stitch in the ditch of the waistband seam, catching in the pressed edge of the facing on the inside. This can be difficult, so take your time on this, and if you mess up, just try again. I'm going to skip number 31 for now and sew a buttonhole on the markings on the right front waistband. Back to number 31, I'm going to press up the carriers, placing the pressed edges at the large dots on the waistband and having the finished edges even. Press up the hem and press under the raw edge 1/4 of an inch. Stitch the hem in place close to the inner pressed edge. Snip the loose ends on the hem and the whole garment. We are finished, yay! If you want a crease in the pants, follow number 34. Here's the end result. If you made it this far, I hope God blesses you beyond measure. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.